Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Beauty Outlaw. And a shout out first to my new sponsor, New BioAge. I love all their products, but one of my favorite we're going to talk about right now is Lucinergy. I take it just as directed. I'm telling you what right now. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Lucinergy is a low-dose supplement. This supplement mimics the benefits of fasting and exercise without you needing to starve yourself or live at the gym all day. Now, you know I love the gym, but you don't need to be there all day. It actually helps your body improve how it uses NAD+ and activates something called the SIRT1 pathway. It's the most powerful longevity and repair pathway we have in our body. That means more energy, more recovery, and reduced inflammation, and cellular function that supports real age prevention. If you want science that actually works, this actually works. And because you're part of my community, you can try it today with 10% off using the code TheBeautyOutlaw at checkout. Just go to the link below, check out New BioAge, and get that discount. Because at The Beauty Outlaw, we do not chase trends or biohackers. We lead with science, results, and longevity that works. Welcome, everybody, to The Beauty Outlaw. Today I have another episode of my favorite, Esthetician Diaries. And today I'm welcoming Sharon, who is a local esthetician to Southern California. I believe you're right in Dana Point.
Yes, in Dana Point.
Welcome.
Well, thank you, Carrie. I'm happy to be here, so thank you for asking.
Now, you've been in the industry a long time. Just like me, we're old soldiers, I call us.
Yes.
Seen it all. Can you share with us your story? Where did you grow up? Like, where are you from, and what got you into skincare?
Okay, so I am Australian, and I grew up in Australia in a little country town halfway between Sydney and Melbourne. Started early in my teens with the whole skincare adventure, I guess, because I was covered in freckles. So always searching for that remedy to fade
Those
them
weren't
down.
as trendy.
No.
As they are now.
No, I know. They're getting them tattooed now, and I was, yes, no.
You were trying to get rid of them.
Yes, trying to get rid of them, fade them down. And I kid you not, there was not an inch of my skin that didn't have a freckle on it. So, the highlight, of my teen years was to get that monthly teen magazine to see what the latest mask was or potion to help fade down the freckle. I did learn about sunscreen early on because of that, so that was a good thing. But that I guess planted the seed and always had an interest. My grandmother, she was an Avon lady, so
I love it.
yeah, so I've got all the little samples and all of that, and a little catalog, and so that kind of was the beginning. After my schooling in Australia, I moved to, like in the country, I moved to the city, and I worked in Sydney, and I worked and lived there, and was a roommate in a house that had surfer boys, and they were friends with a group of people here in the States. So we had this open house policy, like they could come stay with us, we could come over here
As
and stay.
Aussies and
Yes.
Americans do.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, it was great. So I had traveled over a few times and eventually met my husband here, and the rest was history, I guess. So I ended up doing in my 20s, I think I was like 27, I went to esthetician school, and I did it here in the States.
Is that something they offer in Australia?
Yeah.
They do offer an esthetician program.
Yeah, it's called a beautician there, but it's a certificate. It's not, you don't have to go through schooling and, get your state, do it through the state. It's a certificate, but it's very good training over there. So, I mean, there's some really excellent estheticians.
Yes.
So, but yes, it's not a state board type
of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a nurse would be or anything, a nursing license. It's different.
Yes.
Over there, they just need a certification.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot more hands-on training, maybe.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's something we don't have here.
Right.
And I discuss a lot about that with some of my other estheticians that were trying to change some things and starting with scope of practice.
Right.
I know, how do you feel? You've seen it change too. We've been given things, we've been taken away things, we've been given back things, and we've also now no longer, I don't know if you're aware, but they don't have to take a physical test anymore.
I know. That does make it easier. Gosh, yes. Yeah. I had to take the physical test.
Yes.
So what I noticed over the 30 years that I've been doing it, when I came out of school, I got a job straight out of school, and I basically just did what the spa told us to do. Lancets were kept in the pocket, and you didn't think to question it type of thing. You just went along with it type of thing. The biggest change for me was, there's so many things, because I've been a W-2 employee, I've been a subcontractor, I've been commissioned, owned my own solo. Now I've got employees, so I've done it all. But the biggest change was social media. Coming out of semi-retirement and seeing this whole world and learning about what's in scope and what's not in scope. There's really no reason for people not to be educated anymore.
I love that you said that.
Yes.
That's fantastic that you said that. They sit with their head in the clouds.
Yes.
Like I didn't know that.
No, there's no, it's no excuse.
We didn't know, we weren't privy to this. That's not excuse.
Right.
But I think it was just a different world back then when we were in the 90s, when we were doing this.
Yes, exactly.
It was different.
Yeah, it was different. You just kind of didn't ask questions. My first job was 30% commission only. And then when I got a second job to support that wage, the owner was upset with me because she didn't want people to think she wasn't paying me enough. Yes. So times have really changed, because even back then it's like, well, who would you even go to get that information from?
Well, like massaging. So
Yes.
massaging for an esthetician, they're only allowed to do décolleté,
Yes.
head, I believe, and neck. I don't think they're allowed to do anything else.
For a
below that.
massage?
Like massage. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, anything else below would be considered a massage therapist.
Oh, for an esthetician?
For an esthetician.
You know what? They just changed it to where we can do feet.
Oh,
now.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
I did reflexology, so I had the reflexology certificate. So
That
I always
allowed
had that
you.
on hand to do, in case State Board came
In
in.
the 90s, we were taught to do the feet. The feet and the hands.
I learned at Dermalogica at the Dermal Institute. So, yeah, they were teaching it back there. That's where I actually got the reflexology certificate from. So, I think back a couple of years ago when they brought in the tinting, they are allowing feet and hands.
You brought up social media and that there's really no, everyone should have an awareness of their scope of practice, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also the bad side of social media where people are doing things that they shouldn't be.
Yes.
And then if you just look at that, you can assume, oh, well, I can do it too, and take a pass. Like, oh, they're doing it.
But
I can do it.
That's on the person. That's, I think,
It is.
Yeah, it's just wrong. I mean, you have to learn what you can do and not do, and then I guess ethically do what is right for you and the client.
Do you think it's harder for estheticians now
Yes.
to break in?
Yeah, I do, because they've changed the law to where you have to be the W-2 employee or you have to rent. So no longer can you come in and maybe work in a little room in a hair salon, on commission and build and work another job. So I think there's a lot of spaces out there that could be great opportunities for estheticians coming out of school to get mentoring from, a business owner. But the rules are so strict now, and it's on both sides. The rule is in place because some employers abused it, and then you've got the others, employees that came in doing it, but then they give up the employer even though they knew what they were doing, kind of thing. So I see why it has to be in place, but it definitely took away a lot of opportunity.
Definitely.
For some up and coming. So I think there is a lot of new estheticians going out on their own and not having the business savvy They think, okay,
Yes.
just get the clients, but there's that whole business part of it.
Business part of it, which is the tough part.
Yes,
Which
it
is the tough part.
Yes.
I just was speaking to many estheticians recently at a symposium, and I did some statistical work, and I found out that in the first 2 years, we lose 54% of estheticians leave the industry. And by 5 years, almost 70 are gone. All right, everybody, you know I'm not kidding when I said I love me some sauna, and I love Sauna Space. One of my favorite things to utilize, they have an individual light that you can set on your counter while you're getting ready in the morning, wake up to light. This is incandescent red light. This is the best it gets, guys. This is for overall health. This will reset your circadian rhythm. Love me some Sauna Space. So go right now to their website, and in checkout, if you type in Beauty Outlaw, you get 10% off using that code. So check out Sauna Space.
Okay, that's interesting. And I believe that.
And they say, when polled, that it was limited service, also showing you that they got in without knowing what their scope would
yes,
be.
okay.
And financial, it was a financial burden on them, and business savvy, and business awareness, and business education. Right. So there's really a place I feel like there's a lot of us around that have made it through, and we've been doing this for many years. It's our living.
Yes.
And I think that policy is probably what we're going to have to change to be able to allow these girls to come and shadow and work under our umbrella, and teach them and bring them up and let them grow and build their own businesses, because the world is seeking an esthetician now more than ever. It is the most powerful industry to be in.
Okay, yeah.
Facial treatments.
Yeah, it's all about, yeah, I know. Because, yes, I'm getting tongue-tied here just because of what you said about how many drop out. And I don't think they need to drop out if they're, us that have kind of been around for a while and are willing to mentor, and even internships, if that could be a thing.
Yes. Hairdressers do it.
Yes, but not skincare.
But not skincare. We're so isolated and private. We're taught to be in that room, and there is privacy in that room.
Right.
But there's also, we don't have a community. We have the community when we're in school.
Right.
Our esthetician friends. But after that, we kind of go into our room, shut the door, and that's it. It's us and our clients. And we leave ourselves on an island, I think.
Yes, I agree. So you do have to put some effort into, going out and finding those esty besties and such, because I think they can be supportive, even just walking in today and you're giving me a little rundown on your little machine, LED machine back there, I learned something.
We always learn from each other.
Exactly.
Always.
Yeah. So, and you never should be too old to learn either, but I feel bad for the estheticians coming out of school now, because I definitely think there's just no place for them to go, and I don't think they're going to succeed if they go out on their own, straight out of the
A lot of them are thinking
licensing.
They have to transition over into nursing.
Right.
Or they give up their independence because they think they can do more working in a doctor's office.
Right.
And that's where they go wrong.
Yes.
That's when they go wrong.
I think it falls back a little bit on the schools too. Are they not educating them on what they can do? Well, I don't know. They really, from my intel, they have a long way to go, and it needs to be revamped. The whole system needs to be revamped, because I feel like it's just a money grab right now. Right.
To take, and then you set these girls that are eager to learn, and you don't give them any way to learn, and you don't teach them, and you push them out with an online test and laugh all the way to the bank. And then they have to pay for their license every couple years. It's nominal. Our fees are nominal, but we also don't have any support because of those fees from our board.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see apprenticeships come in. I think that would pair it with the schooling, and
I think that would be fantastic. I think schools should reach out to people like you and say, can you come speak to our, not just the vendors. You need an esthetician that's working, that's not selling anything,
Right.
to come in and give her perspective.
Yes.
Now, I know at your facility, you focus on acne, right?
Yes. So
That's your specialty.
Yes, but I learned this from social media. So this career has served me very, very well. I started out as W-2, then I went to a contractor, and then that place closed down, and I went in and rented a little room, and I raised my family while just renting this room and coming in a couple of days a week. Once my son started high school, I came out of semi-retirement. That's when I went into a hair salon that had a little room, and they were all young, and that's kind of where oh God, they're all on their phones and they're joining these Facebook groups, and it was very eye-opening. But okay, what was the question again?
You're an acne specialist.
Oh, how I got there.
Yeah.
Yes. So getting onto the social media, finding your niche. It was like, okay, that was kind of the big thread through all of these groups is if you want to succeed, look to what you want to do, concentrate on that. You still will do the other things, but you need to, and it was a lot to do with marketing too, but market to what you really want to be the expert in. So I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I really enjoy acne. I named my business, rebranded.
Love it.
Became the Acne Lab and Skincare Studio, and all my marketing is geared to acne. I only do acne now. When I moved to my new location, I brought in 2 estheticians who have now taken over most of my age management clients. So yes, my social media, mostly acne with a little bit of the skin care that we still do. And so yes, finding that niche, I think, is what I learned,
Yeah.
And it's really served me well. Like I love doing it. I love going to work, even though I've been licensed and doing this for 30 years. I'd move into my studio. I like it so much. Yes.
I know. Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
You could work all day
Yes.
and come up with ideas, and it's exciting, and I get that in your energy, and I'm so happy I see that, and I hope that comes across right now to those of you estheticians that are watching, to know that it's a lot of years, and it's a lot of hard work. So it doesn't just happen.
Correct. It doesn't, but you do have the opportunity to change. It's, you can, you might have to try a few different age management first, and then waxing, brows. It's so interesting how a lot have just focused on one, and it's worked out, but you don't have to. You can just keep trying different, things that we can do within scope and see what works best for you.
What's your average age that you see for acne down at the lab?
So I market towards 18 plus.
Okay. So more the adult.
Yeah, I still get a lot of, just through word of mouth, I have a lot of teenagers, but they are not the best for following the routines. I mean, you have to do that routine morning and night, and the younger teens do not. Mom is more worried about the acne than the teenager. And telling them that they've got to cut back on sugar and dairy doesn't go over too well. No, it doesn't.
They tune you out right away, even though mom's right about a lot of it. Right. But you're not going to stop them from doing that. They're at the age where that's what they're going to do. And we've got to find some other recipes to help support it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. Got to find... And it's hard to tell them what not to eat. I direct them over to like Pinterest, like the paleo diet or the Mediterranean, which are low inflammatory diets. I'm like, you know what? Look at all the lists of foods you can eat. They're going to list out the fruits and the nuts and the things that you can.
Yeah, don't look at what you can't.
Yes,
look at what you can.
That's exactly what I say to them. Try to offset. When you go to buy the ice cream, just get 1 cone. Don't get the 2 scoop. Don't get the cheese on the burger. Just make little tweaks. But those teenagers,
and what about they are? And what about the battle of the TikTok? So here you go. You give them a product,
right?
And they go and they use a different one.
Okay, so I have I start them off in what I call a boot camp. So it's 3 months of doing what I tell them to do. If they're serious about getting rid of the acne, and a part of that is you do not venture onto.
Don't waver.
If you break the contract, it's not going to work, and I'll give your appointments to somebody else. So I make it clear in the beginning. I try to that, to get clear, it takes the blemish, the little microcomedone, about 3 months to get to the skin surface. So they've got to commit to that 3 months to see significant change or to even be clear in that time. But
does anybody have 3 months nowadays? Everybody wants yesterday.
Yes.
Can you fix it yesterday? It said on that TikTok that if I use this,
I know
it'll be good. Or
in 3 days or
Aqua4.
something. Yes, I've seen a acne ad with him, like, use this in 3 days, you'll see the difference. And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, that's another thing. Before and afters aren't necessarily real anymore.
Right.
I don't trust all of them.
Correct.
I trust word of mouth. If you're unsure, pick up the phone.
Yes.
Ask around.
Reviews are helpful.
Yes, reviews are helpful. And then you can actually, sometimes I'll even set my patients with another patient to communicate.
Okay.
Like a parent. From one parent to another
that's
parent.
a good idea.
And they kind of can, or one teenager to another teenager.
Right.
They'll run across each other. I'll introduce them. And so they know, they also have a community that way.
Yes.
It's helpful. But it's also very unhelpful when you go out and buy something you're not supposed to buy.
Yes.
And start integrating that into your program when we're working on another pathway.
Yes, exactly. So I do try, especially if they're teenagers, I always meet with the parent there in the beginning so the parent can hear that. And then I also track how often they purchase products, because a lot of the times the mum will call or the dad and say, okay, they're not clearing. And I'll go back and I'm like, well, they haven't bought product off me for
Exactly.
Classic. 3 months. So they're either not using it, even though they tell me, yes, they're using it. So yes, those teenagers are hard, but honestly, the young women and men that are kind of more towards 20 coming in, they're a lot more motivated. And
they are. And sometimes they're spending their own money, so they're a lot more motivated
exactly,
to fix
because
it.
they're invested in it, where the teenager is not so much.
Right.
And the Accutane on TikTok and that is the rave. So to a teenager, to anyone really, to take that pill is a lot less effort than having to do a routine twice a day.
Yeah,
so,
it's become very trending again.
oh gosh, yes, the Accutane is scary. How it's
the
one.
go-to.
It doesn't matter if it's one pimple or a whole face. That's what the dermatologist will prescribe.
Well, and I first thing I love to share with everyone out there is that Accutane is not a clear. It's not a fix.
No, correct.
It's a remission thing. So you're on it. It puts you in remission like chemotherapy does, and then it can flare again. So you'll see these kids a year later or 6 months later, they'll need another round of Accutane. And I see this, I don't know about you, but I see this in the clients that really aren't candidates for Accutane in the first place. Those are the ones, because there are Accutane candidates.
Right.
They're few and far between. I have them in my practice, and I will send them to someone when we get to that point. But most of the time, we're doing this for a few pustules, comedones, and the hormonal cystic acne that flares during a cycle.
Right.
That's not really the right time. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and I think you're going to have to put the skincare into place first. For some, skincare alone will take care of the problem, but the gut has got a hotline to the face, and if there's inflammation and you're not eating healthy and such, it's going to show up on your face. So skincare, which is my part, I get them on a good skincare routine and put that into place. If it's getting to like that 3-month mark and I'm thinking, okay, they're not clearing how I think, you can re-look at things, but usually you're going to have to say, okay, maybe a naturopath or a nutritionist. You're going to have to check out your hormones. There's other steps
to make before you make that leap.
And then I think in good conscience you can say, okay, maybe I need to go and I need to look and talk to somebody about, what medications
And hormones, so I was very upset in the world I'm in medicine when they started in the 2000s. They started saying birth control would clear up your acne.
Yes, another Band-Aid.
Another Band-Aid, but it only works in about 30% of the
Right.
girls anyways. So now we're dealing with a whole generation of those millennials that are having problems getting pregnant.
Right.
And a lot of that's from that early induction of hormones. So
Yes.
we all need to take a step back and use modalities like what you have to offer, where they're a 3-month first. Let's do
Yes.
skincare. Let's start here. Do you hear this, mom and dads and everyone else?
Yes. Give it
Then
time.
maybe you combine both the gut health, naturopathic at the same time if you're in a hurry.
Yes.
But a lot of times, if you're really focused, like you said, and you have somebody that's an expert with experience like you have to be an expert with experience. You can't just have a product line and give it to a client because they
Correct.
need your
Guidance.
guidance and your treatment.
Yes. So, yes, the skincare is the most important, having to do that at home twice a day. The treatments will piggyback onto that and give you faster results. It will, we do peels, we do extractions. That's definitely going to.
You counsel.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I'm the skin coach.
Yeah.
Yes, so you get that one-on-one. So those in the boot camp can text me anytime they have a question. They're not out there on their own having to figure out what product or is this burning okay or is this dryness okay? I can guide them, and I think that is probably the winning component.
I would agree.
Just having that support.
Having that support, what direction or when to change something.
Yes.
You probably see, oh, you know what? I could take you off that and let's try this.
Yes, because it's not easy. Not even what I offer. There is no guarantee. There is actually no guarantee, but I will just do my best. And at the end, if it doesn't work, then I know that I gave it my best and I did whatever I could, and I'll be there to support no matter what direction they choose to go.
Hi, everybody. This episode is sponsored by Pretty Girl Cosmeceuticals. These products are the best. If you're not using them, you need to use them. You can contact JKH Aesthetics anytime, and we will give you a consultation about how to use these amazing products. We have Glow Girl and Ice Drops. These will keep you young, healthy, and glowing every day of the week. And now, back to the episode. Another little drug that trends is spironolactone.
Yes.
Another one, pump the brakes on that one. That would be my advice, especially with you young girls. Just go back to the basics. Find an expert in your area that knows has some success with acne and knows the whole body. Because it's a whole body treatment. Acne, would you agree with
Yes,
that?
absolutely.
You just mentioned the gut.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because the gut is what it's our little central, if that's got the inflammation
brain.
and that's not functioning correctly, it is going to show up in your face, your back, your chest. It's
It's our
energy,
number one maker
anything.
of, it makes communication.
Yes.
It makes some of our hormones. It makes our peptides.
Yes.
And it sends, if it's not healthy
like
enough,
a little message center.
It can't signal up to the brain, like you said, to communicate with the tissues.
Yes.
Here's what we're going to do.
So yeah, it starts with gut health. You know what? A lot of times the acne can be corrected just with cleaning up your eating. I think, like with the acne, you used to be able to say, okay, you're going to kind of outgrow it. If you're a guy in your early 20s, is what I learned, and then women older into their 20s. But what we eat has changed, like the preservatives, the fast foods. That there is who knows what time or what age you're going to grow out of it now. There is no end to it.
It's later and later. So the studies are showing that boys tend to do better at about 23. They tend to grow out of it. Girls are not, and women are not growing out of this.
Right.
And it is food. It's PCOS. And we've got a lot of
Stress. Stress is a big one for the onset of adult acne.
Absolutely. So find an expert, and estheticians listening to this, learn that world.
Yes.
Learn the science behind the skin, the follicle, how it works, how the gut communicates with the brain,
Yes.
how that release of growth factors can either be devastating to the skin tissue or helpful. You become an expert. You don't have to, that's free information. You can find that information anywhere.
Right.
And then find a product that you really believe in that will educate you as well, and start working in the world of acne, because kids need it. Adults need it.
Yeah, they do. And yes, once you've figured out what your niche is, if it's in my case acne, and for those that want to do acne, there is so much to learn. So I think that helps having a niche, because then you can concentrate on everything and anything that you can learn about it, and become that expert.
Because you're not going to get that treatment in a dermatologist's office.
No.
And if they've have an esthetician on staff, it's not the same as finding an independent esthetician. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying they're going through protocols in those offices. So they're not really looking at you as the individual. They're looking at you as a group of acne patients, and this is what we're going to do, where somebody like you can look at someone individually and treat them separate from your other clients.
Yes, and then just going back to like the difference with the dermatologist, and what I tell the client is, the dermatologist, you go in there because you have the acne here on your face. He's going to give you medications and such to treat what is on the face. It's already ran its course. It's taken 3 months to get there. It's in the healing now. What I do is we go to the root cause, and we're going to work to clear out all that backlog and inflammation and all that oil and impaction of dead skin cells. So in 3 months' time, you don't have that anymore. So I treat what's under the skin, the root cause. The dermatologist is more inclined to
treat the symptom.
Yes, because you go in there and you want to get rid of what's here. That's what he's going to focus on, to get rid of what's there. Antibiotics, which in the end get rid of the good and the bad in your gut. And
that's why 2 months later, after being on an antibiotic, your face breaks out again.
Exactly.
And it breaks out worse. And then you go back through that same cycle.
Exactly. Right. So that doctor, he's given you what you want, but it's not going to help you in the long run.
Right. What you have at that point is a chronic condition, not an acute condition like they're treating you.
Correct.
This is something that's going to take, I like how you described it. That was perfect. It took 3 months to get there. It's going to take us some time to get the baseline up and out as well.
Yes.
So we're looking at 3 months to see, and then we're going to reassess.
And it could get a lot worse before it gets better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's great advice. What is the number one treatment that do people come in and ask for treatments from you, like other skin treatments? Because you said you had estheticians there.
Yes. Yes. Well, I did age management for most of my career. I just
shifted it.
Yes, shifted it like 8 years ago. And then I was going to just do the acne lab, but then I thought, gosh, I have all these clients. Maybe I'll, bring somebody in, and again.
And then they need a place to go after you've cleared their skin.
Yes, exactly. So that's what they
move right into age management.
This is what I'm working on now. Yeah, I'm trying. Well, even just maintenance, they don't need to come as often. So, if they want now, I don't need to change routines. I don't need to be so on there. My goal is for them to come out and be their own acne experts. So once they're done with boot camp and they're clear, they can go on to a maintenance. They can venture away from the product line that I've got if they want to try something else. But they'll know to look for comedogenic ingredients. They'll know what suits their skin. They'll know triggers and such. So yeah, that is, I'm trying to now move those maintenance over to the other ladies in the skincare section. And I'll just basically try to stick with the boot campers. But yeah, we do waxing. Our most popular age management treatment's the 1 hour European, because it has the reflexology in it. So that is definitely
the best.
Yes, and that's mostly what I did before I transitioned to acne.
Now
waxing.
pamper, take care.
Yeah,
and
the
clean.
brow shaping too is very
Okay.
popular.
Yes,
facial
very
waxing.
popular.
Yes, so we do it all.
We do. And what about lashing?
No, we
guys
don't
lash there?
do. Mm-mm.
Okay.
We do the tinting and the lash lifts, but we don't
Do lashes.
No, we don't do lashes.
Oh, who knows? Maybe someday you'll bring that in. You never know.
I don't know. That just seems. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing, I don't know if I want to
Another
add that on.
thing.
Yes.
It's very popular too right now.
Yes, it is.
I have a lash artist here, and she's been with me for like 6 years.
Right.
She's busy, busy, busy. It's very popular. I can't live without my lashes either. I love them.
Right.
But we also do lash lifts too. They're
Right.
very popular right now,
Yes.
especially with summertime coming.
Yes.
I'm glad we got the tinting back as estheticians in California.
Yes.
That was
Definitely.
taken away and now given back.
Yeah. That is a big plus.
What is the hardest part of being in business?
I think getting new clients. Well, I think what was an eye opener for me was I always relied on word of mouth, and now I have these other estheticians that I have to bring new clientele in. So I think that is hard. I think, and there's a lot of competition out there. So getting your name out there and just being known in the community is important. But I'm going to say, yes, bringing in new clientele for your employees
As
is-
a business
owner.
owner.
Yeah.
Because your estheticians, they're not independent.
No, they're W-2.
They're W-2
They work for
you.
They
Yeah.
work for me. So I am responsible for getting the clients for them. They're responsible for retaining them.
Is there this might be too much information, but is there a pivot for them to grow and move into space? Do you have that there? Or?
I don't really. My business model, no.
No, gotcha.
Okay, no,
Gotcha.
not yeah. I mean, maybe they'll. And I'm all for learning and
Yeah.
launching type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Everybody should have that opportunity to find what works for them. But
But you have a lot of, there's a lot of estheticians that want to go to work and go home.
yes,
They don't want, they love what they do. They want to work for someone like you, get to do that bedside care.
Yes.
And then they don't have to worry about the overhead, ordering their own products.
Exactly. I think if you can treat them well and give them flexibility
Yes.
like you would have that, if you owned your own place, if they want a day off, I'll work with them.
Yes.
I'm going to do whatever I can to make it a good place for them to be, because I do think you can make good money working for somebody just as much. People don't realize. They see, oh my God, look
Yes.
how much you made. They don't realize when you take the rent and the insurance and all
Oh
the
my
things
goodness.
out, that just getting that paycheck might be the way to go.
It sure is.
Yes.
There was a time in my life where I look back we've had seasons of our lives in business, right?
Yeah.
We had the '08 crash.
Yes.
And then we had COVID. And both of those things as business owners was
Yeah.
pretty scary time.
Yep.
And those are the times where you wish, well, gosh, I wish maybe I was just a W-2 employee. So there's good and bad with both. The final kind of question I have for you is, what would be your advice to the new esthetician for her first step? What should she do?
Coming straight out of school.
Straight out.
Oh. I think if you can land a job in a place like Burke Williams, Hand and Stone, Massage Envy, where you're going to get some hands-on training, facial works, where you're going to see a lot of faces, I think that would be ideal. I don't think there's enough of those places to service all the estheticians that are coming out of school. So I think it's a tough one. I think a lot of them find themselves going solo because they can't get a job. And in that case, I would say look for mentoring. Score.org is a great, have you heard of them?
Score.org.
Yes. So they are for business, and they will help you with business plans. They're retired people.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Is that this part of the Small
Business Bureau. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's,
They're great.
yes. So you can go and talk to someone and they'll help you put a business plan together and look at your finances
Yes.
for you. They're retired people that have gone through it, and they'll give you an idea of, I don't know whether you should do this or not. But I think if you're going to go solo, you really need to know your numbers.
You really do.
Yeah, I think you're going to fail if you don't.
Yeah.
So
That becomes and that's where the statistics came from, was the business. They had the clients. Some of them had the clients, but they just didn't have the business savvy and mindset for their overhead. So overhead our products are not cheap to purchase and resell.
And just even the cost of the service, you need to know what your pricing needs to be. Because even for me, and I recommended score.org because I have used them. So when I came out of my semi-retirement and was rebranding my name and such, I actually reached out to them. And they were really helpful, even just giving me an idea of, don't move over and start renting until you got at least 60%, books full and things like that. They were very helpful for giving me goals and guidelines and such like that. So I don't think I'd be as successful if I didn't put that foundation in place first.
I like that. Do you have a cancellation policy?
Oh gosh, I'm really nice to people. So, I always give them a pass, and I let them know that I do have a cancellation policy in place. And this time I'll waive it because life happens. So I do try to educate as I go along, and I'm very lucky that most are respectful of that. So
good.
I don't let
it's becoming an issue, I think.
Yes.
With online booking.
Yes. So I do, if I run a promotion and such, I will ask for a credit card to hold it. That makes people make sure.
It does.
Yes.
They're serious about it. Some people, once you ask for that, then they don't make the appointment.
Yes, I know.
So that's when you know they're serious about coming.
So I do have that in place for promotions and such, but I rely on the goodness of people, which I don't know if I don't think that's a smart move entirely.
Well, maybe it's a good advice for the estheticians that are starting to maybe implement something like that people sign. So they're not on your books for a month, and then they cancel the same day.
Yes. Well, I have. I send out confirmations to make sure. And again, I have it posted on my website. And if they do cancel, I do educate them. It's not like I give them a free pass. They are told that, hey, you should be paying, but I'll let it pass.
Great, Sharon. What a success you are. And you're just right down the street from me.
Yes,
and
I know.
We've never officially met till today.
No, I know. Isn't that interesting?
So, again, esthetician community is very behind closed doors, and we shouldn't be.
No, correct.
We should be friends and family, and we should ask each other questions if we're not sure about things. We need a team, collaborate, right?
Yes. Yes,
we will be collaborating.
Yes, we will. I would like that. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There is a huge community out there, and it's kind of a little isolated. And
we're going to pull ourselves together, especially in your local area. That's the best. Even if you can't get together all the time, you can still chat with each other and ask questions. Have you heard of this? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to this show. Are you going to go? Let's get together. All that stuff's super important in the industry. To have a community, it'll keep you in the business, and you'll have lots of long, successful years like we've been able to do.
Yes.
Doing what we love.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, I still love it. It's been a great career.
Love it. Thanks, Sharon.
Oh.
And at the end, I don't know if we always have to toast.
Oh, okay.
At the end
like
of the Beauty
that.
Outlaw. The end of the Beauty Outlaw, we have to toast.
Okay.
Thank you, Renee.
It's a great skid.
Renee's also an esthetician.
Yes.
Many, many years. So thank you for being on the Beauty Outlaw. Cheers.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
See you later on the next episode of the Beauty Outlaw.